Look at him, man. Are you kidding me?
Not every whitetail buck lives to be 5 years old. Actually, most will make it past 2 or 3 years old. That's what made 2020 a special year on the Kansas 80. We were chasing bucks we knew very well, Freddy Krueger and Club. Both homebodies. They loved the Kansas 80. Freddy Krueger was the only buck still alive that we recognized when we bought the property originally. We had one shed from 2018 season, and we picked up his match set from 2019. The story of Freddy Krueger and Club remounting in fall 2020 could not come fast enough. If you're like me, you dream about seeing a 200-inch whitetail buck, let alone killing one. When we saw Freddy Krueger on trail camera in the summer of 2020, we knew we had a 200-incher walking around the Kansas 80. There's something that happens to you after you see a trail cam photo like that. That's a buck of a lifetime. It causes you to rethink everything, and every time you enter the woods, you can't help but feel different and wonder where he's lurking.
Well, I'm not sure how to say this, but that was probably the best camera pole me and Nate have ever had at our south feeder. Freddy Krueger. 200-inch world-class deer. We're probably chasing, he's got to be right in that ballpark. Just nuts, unbelievable. Drop, split. He's got 4 freaking brow times coming out of his right side. Club also is on there. Just giant, probably 16-inch G2s. Just nuts.
Welcome back. September 28th. It's our first sit on the Kansas 80. It feels amazing to be back. We're just blessed and thankful that the Lord blessed us with able bodies to be able to climb up into this tree stand again this year. We've put a lot of work in, so much work. It just feels great to be sitting here and beginning to reap some of those benefits. Our shooters haven't been around. They've gone MIA the last month and a half. Not super surprised based on last year. So we're not really sure what's going to show, but we're down here because there's a huge cold front that came through, dropped a bunch of temperatures. The pressure's rising, and during this time of the year you got to sit it. So we're going to be spending the day here on this edge of this bean plot right now. Bean plot's just up here, I don't know, 100 yards, maybe less. And we're just hunting this corridor that goes to the beans, so hopefully it's good. I'm just happy to be up in the tree.
I got a licking branch. This is the attractant for tonight. We've found great success with putting them in an open field, and bucks will come right towards them. Kind of nice pinch point area. Tom smoked a dandy on one last year, so full send.
It's the evening of September 28th. On it this morning for just a short time, didn't see anything. We are over our bean Nebraska plot.
Early season hunting for us is all weather dependent. If we see a large temperature drop, weather front, and high pressure system, we will be in a tree. We don't care about the deer movement up to that point. If a cold weather system is coming, we are hunting.
Pretty bad sit, honestly. Not to this morning was, and the pressure's really good. I mean, it's cold. It's 50. Okay. It is October 12th. And it's our third time hunting the 80 this year, I think. We've had a little cold snap, and so we decided to make just a day trip down here. Our cameras have been better. We actually have been having some action from our big guy, Fred. So that's good. He's basically the only mature buck we've had moving around, but that's good enough for us to be sitting. Thursday, October 15th. Thompson and I are in the stand a little late this afternoon, but still good to go. So, if you guys have been following along with this series, you know that our number one buck is Freddy Krueger. His best point on his right side broke off. I think it was like his G3 or something. Broke off, almost at the base. So, crazy. It's crazy that he already broke off. It's October 15th. Usually that's like rut action, but he already had to lock antlers with some big buck. So that's a bummer, but we're just chasing the story of Freddy Krueger. The antlers are great, but we just want to kill a big mature buck that we have history with, so I'll still shoot him 100%. We only have this morning's hunt because we got to get back in the truck and go pick up 3 new hunters this evening up in northeast Nebraska, so just a quick hunt here, but it's too good to not be out. It was a really solid morning. Probably the second best October sit I've ever had, besides Thomas's buck dying. I mean, bucks were on their feet, moving, just traveling, covering ground. The last buck, we've had trail cam pictures of for sure. We call him Mo. He's a young stud. His rack, just really, it's easy to tell who he is. 2, 1, 2. It is Tuesday, October 27th. We were supposed to hunt yesterday evening. Basically, there's been a super nice cold front the last handful of days, but we were up in northeast Nebraska with some new hunters, teaching people how to hunt and be conservationists, so that was awesome. But these cameras down here were going off the rails. And last night, we were gonna hunt, but on the way down here, truck issues. Check engine light came on, we couldn't even accelerate, so we had to get towed.
What's going on, Tom? Side of the road, truck wouldn't accelerate.
It's a freaking joke. And sure enough, Big Shooter daylighted last night. Picture hasn't downloaded HD, but is either our number 1 Freddy or like our number 2 or 3 buck, so that's unfortunate, but travel from where we want. This was last night when we were gonna hunt. We're just waiting for that download HD. It's either Freddy or swooped in buck we have sheds off of. I think it's Freddy. And that was at before 6 p.m. so he was up on his feet super early. That's only like, 150 yards north of us maybe. And it's on this trail. He would probably take this area up there and back, so. If I was to bet, I would bet that there's a big mature buck bedded close. Let's see if he wants to take out. You filming? I talked about it in the tree, but we were supposed to hunt yesterday evening. I just checked the camera where we sat this morning because our wind started to switch. We had does blowing at us where they shouldn't be blowing at us, so checked the camp card quick and got out of there, and he was there. Daylight, early. We got pictures of him in 2 areas on our property last night, and we would have killed him. Yesterday, we probably would have killed Freddy, but we had truck problems, and we didn't hunt it. The odds of that happening are insane, and I don't know why things like that happen, but this entire fall, me and Tom have taken out 11 hunters. Every hunter I've taken out has heard these words. You can never get down on yourself. You cannot be negative. You just gotta always be positive because things can change so fast. I need to hear those words because today has been nuts. I've already talked about it, but last night we should have been here on the property. Freddy showed up. We weren't because of cart problems. This morning we had a great sit and got out of the tree. 5 minutes later, a shooter walked by the tree. Coming in here, we bumped a shooter. This is a set we didn't find until late November last year, and so we thought it'd be good for this time of the year. It's gonna be good. And on the way in here, we bumped a nice buck. Only had a quick look at it, but I'm pretty sure it was one of our shooters. Those things you just have to have go for you sometimes, and it didn't. But like I've told every single hunter we've taken out this fall, you always gotta stay positive. You always gotta be ready for whatever can happen. These woods can change fast, and you never know when the big deer's around the corner. So we're gonna settle in here and just hope for the best this evening. Trail cam history from last year would say this time of the year, this stand would be very, very good. So we'll see. Is he 3.5, I think? That was the first run-in this year where I really was debating the shot. Right away, I couldn't tell if he was a shooter or not, definitely on the edge. But getting closer, just looking at his paces, I think he's 3.5. But it was honestly a tough call. His body was looking like 4 or 4.5, and his mass on his antlers was actually pretty good, but he was a little short and stuff. So, oh man, that was great though. We haven't had any close run-ins like that. He came right underneath our tree. If it was any bigger buck, it would have been literally perfect. He takes the exact path we want up this ridge. That's 3 bucks already this morning moving. Oh, that was awesome. Gave me a little jitters. It's kind of thick over here, and then it just opens up, and I just looked over there. He's right in that opening, just walking right up.
This morning was good. We were able to rattle in one nice 3.5-year-old, and then we had another 2.5-year-old cruise by. So we saw bucks, but it's been slow other than that. We're gonna try to get around this rain. This weather front's been moving in all morning, and the reason we're out of stand now is because the wind started pushing the exact opposite direction we needed to, and then the radar says that we're about to get pounded here for like 30-40 minutes, so we're gonna kind of game plan and see what to do.
of the 80 Southeast. It's just one of those days you gotta make a big move, and we're gonna do it. We don't really have an exact spot we're gonna head, but we think we know where a lot of mature bucks kind of like to hang out in bed. So we've got stands, safety systems. We're gonna go make it happen. I'm gonna make this quick and quiet because we got 2 deer bedded within top pin range. So we set the stand up, got all the way back here in the southeast. It's the furthest south and east we've ever had a stand on the 80. But we're in thick bedding, as you can see from the deer bedding right on us. We got the stand up, and no later these deer came right in. But deer are moving on the 80 today. It's like 1:30 and deer all over. So we're really hoping tonight's the night. It very well could be.
A lot of whitetail hunters like to talk about the best day of the rut. For us on the 80, it was November 10th. We rattled in over 6 different bucks that day, and we saw at least 10 to 12 different bucks, but no Freddy or club.
this afternoon of November 11th. We had a really good morning sit. We got down quick to shower because we hadn't showered in a couple days. We're actually staying at a motel tonight so we could shower. And did that. Got back in the stand after lunch. It's like 1:45 now. Me and they were actually talking. I was gonna rattle for the second time in the morning. It was about 9, and Eli was looking over my shoulder, and he says, "Big buck." Sure enough, it was a nice buck. We have no idea who he is though. He's at least a non-typical 6x6. I think he was probably just an excursion buck. We might never see him again, but he was an awesome deer. At least 4.5, probably 5.5, probably mature. But that's what can happen during the rut. We're in here after some whole body deer, but we're always waiting for those excursion deer too.
To add to the tough hunting year, we also had our neighbors' dogs running through our property, impacting a lot of our hunts. All we could do was keep a positive mindset and continue to hunt. Finally, on November 16th, it was time to punch a tag as a doe gave us a 30-yard broadside shot. We finally had some meat in the freezer.
Okay. The 16th of November isn't normally a time when people think of doe management, but we haven't filled a Kansas tag yet, and I haven't shot a whitetail yet this season, so Thomas did the old switcheroo, and I took his bow, and now we got a cooler full of great organic meat. So we're heading home. Gonna be back probably to try to fill some buck tags this next week.
Alright, it's November 17th. Crept into our north clover plot, kind of south wind today. I'm praying that just see a big mature buck tonight.
Throughout the fall of 2020, we hunted as much as we could. All we were hoping for was a glance of Freddy or club. Finally, on November 28th, we got the text we had dreaded. Freddy Krueger was shot by a neighbor. We know, it's just a deer, but dang, it hurt. A week later, our buddy Spencer Newhart came to the property, and on the 6th day of hunting, Club presented him with a broadside shot. I won't lie, the Kansas City did not feel the same after those 2 weeks. The excitement had been extinguished, but we hunted out the rest of the season with no luck. Year 1 on the 80, Thomas and I both killed bucks, but year 2 had other plans. We ended the season with unfilled tags. Maybe we didn't hunt enough, maybe taking out 11 new hunters took up too much time, or maybe bow hunting is just hard.
This is the last hit of the 2020 season.
It's definitely the latter of those thoughts. We had the best fall ever.
That's it. That's all I want to say.
We hunted more than ever and had a great time taking out all of these new hunters. We learned a ton about the Kansas 80. Now we wait for the next story to surface. Year 3 on the Kansas 80 will be here shortly.